Thank you for your interest in Peace DNA, a safe and strategic way to resolve conflict with others, conflict others may have with you, and conflict between others when you're not even a part of it. Learn how to think, what to do, and what to say to reach sustainable and agreeable peace. What is the critical path to succeed consistently? Just listen to what I'm saying and keep an open mind. I'll be as brief as I can. Peace DNA is a how-to manual on getting a peace agreement between two people in conflict. It has two parts, the critical path to follow and the 6 essential questions to navigate it. It's really just a new way to think about what you already do in a part. First, what is a critical path? It's the step-by-step instructions for consistently doing something successfully. Now, in the case of most critical paths, the first step is to set the conditions. In the case of opening a door, for example, the first critical path step is to step within reach of the door. Obviously, you must be within reach of the door in order to open it. This is a first critical path step. Of course, sometimes it's so easy and automatic, we don't even think about it, but it still holds true. So peacemaking, like opening a door, has only 3 critical path steps, and the first one is to set the conditions for success. In Peace DNA, the conditions for success are no fouls. No fouls, none, big or small. If a foul occurs, it must be busted before moving on. These conditions of Peace DNA lead to consistent success. We'll go into fouls and foul buster later, but you probably get the idea of what makes a foul. Now the second Peace DNA critical path step, after no foul conditions are set by agreement or are being observed, is to adequately express each point of view, or POV. And like staying within reach of the door, the conditions must remain in effect before moving forward in any step or staying there. Remember the conditions, no fouls. The third and final critical path step in Peace DNA is remedy. This step begins obviously only when the conditions are still being observed and both POVs have adequately been expressed. Pretty simple so far, and it is. But how do you know if any step is complete? It's easy. You just ask yourself. You ask yourself what it is that, in essence, you want to know. EQ stands for essential question. What is it you want to know? The EQ for no foul conditions, the first critical path step is, are you ready and willing to solve this conflict peacefully? In other words, is it safe? Is it fair? Is there voluntary participation? Is now a good time to try? All these questions are essentially answered by some form of the first EQ. There are 3 EQs for adequately expressing each POV, EQs 2, 3, and 4, but there is no order to them. This is important. They're listed randomly. In other words, you can start with any of the 3 POV EQs and you can skip around or go back and forth from one to another. The first POV EQ, EQ number 2, is what happened? What are the facts? We use EQ2 to get the facts. The second POV EQ, EQ number 3, is all about the feelings, the emotions, either now or at the time of some event, or both. The third POV EQ, EQ number 3, is about the opinions, or the why whatever happened matters. Why was it important? The opinion includes everything that is not a fact or a feeling. I'll say that again. If it's not a strict fact and it's not a feeling, for Peace DNA to work consistently, it's an opinion. And of course, there's always at least 2 POVs in a conflict. So after both POVs are adequately expressed, facts, feelings, and opinions, it's time to move on to the final critical path step, remedy. In other words, how do we fix this? What can we agree on? And we start with what each side wants. And we find out what each will do, which really means what they agree to do. And so this is the critical path of Peace DNA, a checklist of EQs or essential questions that, when followed, will consistently lead to peace agreement, even if agreeing to respectfully disagree. Okay, done. That wasn't so bad. You now know the Peace DNA critical path to peace agreement, but your map has no features yet. That's next.